Tuesday, December 20th, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich, and oh my goodness. Okay, we have a relatively perfect, close to perfect, setup for the Santa Claus rally and a bullish rally during this leg down. Remember, we have two gaps to close above the market, and we're looking at the S&P 500. I usually start out with this chart, of course, because it's my favorite index. So a week ago, we gapped down around the 395 area. And the next day, we gapped down again around 387 area. Currently trading 81 and a third, 381 and a third. This is it. Look, we got oversold. Usually markets start rallying out of oversold conditions. Secondly, we got below yesterday's low. Now, hopefully on the way up, if we get above yesterday's high, and I would love to see that happen, we would have a bullish engulfing, plus the oversold condition would create an ER buy signal like October 13th. Probably nowhere near as powerful. I'm not looking for a 2-month rally like we got out of the October lows. I'm looking for a rally up to at least 87 and a third, maybe up to 92, and at the farthest, the greatest amount of rally, 395, to close the second highest gap. So I'm looking for a rally, and if that's going to happen because of the oversold condition, and maybe we'll have a bullish engulfing, and that needs to happen by the end of the day, and that means getting a tick above or more yesterday's highs and staying higher than the previous close. I'll get a signal. Hopefully it'll be a good one. They're not always good. But we have money management tools that keep us from losing too much money. But the last one on October 13th, again, I talked about 2 months in advance, almost every day, and it was a whopper. So this time I'm not looking for a whopper. I'm looking for the beginning of the Santa Claus rally, which should last until the first few days, at least, of January, a couple of weeks, and then back down again. I'm still looking for around 370, maybe 372 to 370 for a profound, significant low. So I've got the makings that I want, except for the bullish engulfing. Rallies to close, gaps, oversold conditions, and again, almost a bullish engulfing. Let's take a look at the DIA. Well, it's been the strongest index of all, and it didn't quite get oversold. It didn't get below yesterday's low. Today, we have an inside trading range day. Its low is higher than yesterday's low. And so far, like the spider, the high is below yesterday's high. What about the QQQ? Well, the QQQ has been the weakest of the three indexes that I watch perpetually, and it did get oversold, and it could have a bullish engulfing and an ER buy signal like the spider. So I've got 2 out of 3 of my major indexes that I watch all the time creating oversold conditions, which is a setup for a rally, even though we don't get a bullish engulfing. It's still oversold. It's still oftentimes rallies out of oversold conditions. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Now, remember, this is no big deal. Rally for maybe 2 weeks, maybe less. But I'm hoping if the Santa Claus rally scenario occurs, it'll be topping out in the first week of January. Okay, that's the stock market indexes. Let's go to futures. And I think I'm going to make a mistake here. Nope, good. We have no real major new signals here in the futures markets. The soybean meal got overbought and has started to come down. No signal per se. Last great one was on that low. back on October 7th. Next chart. We sold the top of the market, or we got a sell signal at the top of the market, natural gas in August. And this is a new low today for the whole trend down. Obviously, the trend is down. This is a new low since February. Looks like we'll see somewhat significant lower levels. That's a pretty big trading range that we're breaking out of to the downside. Again, next chart, natural high-grade copper. Neutral, sideways to a tiny bit higher. Next, platinum. I think it has a tendency to work its way a little bit higher, but nothing particularly profound at the moment. I'm looking for something I can hang my hat on, feel good about making a trade and making some money with it with a low risk if it doesn't work, and they don't always work again. We did get a sell signal back in August. Nothing lately. A sell signal that didn't work quite right a couple of weeks ago, but we are lower than that signal. But again, if you go by the rules, and you should, we're not making lower lows. Now, this is a 30-year long bond. When this goes down, rates go up on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day type of very, very short-term basis. So that's not particularly good for the market, which is struggling after going down for 4 days in a row and getting oversold. It is only up 1 point at the moment. Next chart is the 10-year notes. The head and shoulder bottom that we built, which is a little lopsided, worked just fine and got up to its minimum upside objective, plus a little bit more in the last couple of weeks. And now we have the lower low, like I talked about before. It's topped out and at resistance levels. And I think we're going to see a little bit more of a break. Now, I'm not super bearish on interest rate futures. I do think it's a worthwhile consideration on the short side, but you kind of miss the turning point. Next. Wheat, slightly bearish. Next, live hogs, slightly bearish again. Nothing particularly great here. Next, the E-mini is the S&P 500. Obviously, it's a stock market index I like to watch and know like the back of my hand. I've been watching it since 1993 when the market started to trade the spider and the E-minis shortly. So slightly bullish for only a few days. Next, we've got the sugar, overbought, looking for a downside retracement. Next, we've got cocoa, I'm neutral. Next, I've got coffee, bearish, but you need a downside breakout to continue the downtrend. Meanwhile, we did pick a turning point for a nice rally, but nothing super profound. Next, OJ, overbought, slipping back into trading range, little support, mildly friendly to OJ. Next, live cattle, neutral. And let's go to silver, friendly, short-term. Sell signal didn't work, but the trend is up. And we did form a reasonably good sized bottom 3 or 4 months. Next, corn. We got a great buy signal a couple of weeks ago. I talked about before it happened, as it happened, and now, of course, every day after it's happened. So a little bit more strength, but the trend is not in our favor yet. The trend is still down. That buy signal so far has just picked a rally and what is apparently still a bear trend. So I wouldn't go running after this on the long side. Probably I should be a little neutral at the moment, but we did get the bottom. Next, bean oil. Hey, same comment. Bullish engulfing, oversold conditions work great. And at the moment, it's a new high for the rally. And the low was a couple of weeks ago with my green ER automated 100% buy and sell signals. Next, crude light. Got oversold. Major trend is down. I expect that to continue. Don't see any major bottoms in sight at the moment. Neutral to bearish. Next, gold. We had a sell signal about 3 weeks ago. Didn't really work, period. Too bad. I'm basically neutral. We're at a major resistance level. I think I should be looking soon on maybe a little bit more strength for sell signals. Next, soybeans, neutral. Next, heating oil, big sideways trading range since what? April? Going nowhere fast. Next, soybean meal. We talked about this at the beginning of the commodity section, overbought, looking for a little bit more of a break, and then natural gas new lows. So the forex markets, we have a couple of interesting things that have happened, and maybe things are changing now. We did get the low back in late September. That was a great buy signal, September 28th. Big bullish engulfing, significantly oversold conditions, bottom of a downward slanting channel. A few weeks later, upside breakout, test of support, and a perpetual move up until, guess what, last week. We have a bearish engulfing. We're almost to new lows since the engulfing. I'm looking for a move down in the euro dollar, probably to maybe as low as par, 1.00 forever. Next, dollar index is going to be an image upside down. Yes, it is. And we have two buy signals. The second one yesterday didn't work per se, but the other one has worked so far mildly. I want to see a close above yesterday's high to feel much better about this buy signal and the dollar index. But it's a buy signal, and if you're a technician, you should be following your disciplines. And I like the long side of this. It could be an excellent buy here with a low risk if it fails, not a large loss. Dollar yen. Next, oversold, very much so. Hey, you should be looking for buy signals in the next several days. We caught the top of that market back on October, what the heck was it? It was October 21st. Great sell signal. Next, whoops, Australian to the US, right smack at the bottom, big time. You know, the major bull and bear daily top and bottom signals, the ones that are the top or bottom for months prior and months to come, don't occur very often. Obviously, they only occur once in a while because they're major turning points. We tend to pick with this strategy technique many of those turns, automated. Next, dollar to the Canada. Here we go. And nothing really happening here lately. Don't see any good signals. There we go. It's a little slow on my CPU. We have a bearish engulfing smack dab on the top of that market and oversold conditions with a bullish engulfing just slightly after an ER buy signal that's turned out to be a very good one, November 18th. And US dollar to the Swiss franc, we are looking at an oversold condition a few days ago, but the trend is down and there's no real signal here lately. So I'm still bearish, even though it might bobble around a little bit and then start to make new lows. Euro to the pound, not really much to say. In a large trading range, kind of neutral on that. One more group here, sectors. This ER signal I've been working on for well over a decade does pick turning points in all types of markets, even international markets. And I'm not talking about forex or, currencies. I'm talking about European stocks, Chinese stocks, stuff like that. I just don't go into it. We did have a great sell signal on the SMH click. Sorry, top of the list. Sorry, let's start over. Nothing here as far as the signal is concerned. Next one, XLK as a sector. The bottom of the market we caught as a bullish engulfing. These are not manually changed colors. The arrow I put on there, but the colors are automatically created because of the way the market's moving in other technical conditions. Excuse me. We have a sell signal smack dab on top of that move. That is fantastic. And the buy signal on the bottom of that move, wow. They can be used for short-term trading, intermediate swing trading, or investor types long-term trading. It just picks major turning points. Who doesn't want to get into a trade at a major turning point? Next, XLY. And we got a good buy signal a while back, early October. What was that? October 13th. Meanwhile, it went sideways, not really that good of a buy signal, and we're now in new lows for the trend, but getting oversold. So I'd expect a short-term bounce. Next, XLF. Nothing here. Next is XLI. Nothing here. And we got the top of this market, XOP, I should say top of the sector group, right smack dab on top of that rally. Next, GDX. Nothing particular great here. Next, OIH. I'm going to mention that we got the top of the market on that one on November 14th. That was a great sell signal. Went down, straight down for like 6 days too. Next, XLB. Nothing here. XLV. A couple of false starts on the downside. Not really a very good sell signal. Only went down for a day or so. That one really didn't go down much at all, period. They're close to a top, but close doesn't count. I like to get the turning points. And I don't have one on this particular chart. XLE. Not much to say. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you. I will not be making recordings Thursday and Friday of this week or Monday and Tuesday of next week after Christmas. So I'll pick up on Wednesday of next week, but I will be making a recording tomorrow, Wednesday, the 21st of December. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, profitable trading to you.